Hey, what's up? We are in the Flick Cave here with
John from the Flick Pick channel.
Yes, and of course Paul, Mike, Eric from Pretty Much It. And we're super pumped. We're going to talk about the year 2015. We're going to go into the future a little bit because it's going to be a big year for movies.
It's almost too big.
This is the first part of a two-part series we're doing here with John, and you should definitely check out the other part. We're going to be talking about some other movies coming out in 2015 that we're not talking about now. We're not talking about them in an order necessarily, so don't think we're listing our top 5 and this is the best, this is the worst.
Just how we drew it.
You can think that if you want to.
You do whatever you want, but I'm promising you, you are wrong.
One video cannot contain all the epicness coming out in 2015.
No.
I mean, just thinking about it, my head starts to hurt, it starts to vibrate.
Well, you're bleeding a little bit. Hey,
yeah,
you're bleeding.
Get it.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you. So let's get right into it, starting off with a big one that's been very highly anticipated, I would say, among a lot of people, and that is Star Wars Episode 7 nerds.
People who dress up like stormtroopers.
Want to be careful who you're addressing.
Because a lot of people might not be looking forward to it because, A, you either hated the prequels and you just wanted to die, or B, you love the movie so much that you just don't want it to taint it.
Or C, I would say. I say you're in both groups. You're people who you hated the prequels,
and you want them to fix it.
You want Star Wars to end off on a good note, and not the prequel note.
Yes.
So.
I mean, it's really up in the air. I mean, the first one and Empire Strikes Back was incredible, and then Return of the Jedi and I think the last of the prequels, the third one, Revenge of the Sith, those are okay, and then the first two of the prequels were complete garbage. So it's really kind of a 50-50 whether or not we're going to get
garbage or greatness.
Garbage, greatness, or in between.
G or G.
Well, I think that since George Lucas has nothing to do with this, there's really nothing to really worry about.
Here's what it has going for it. George Lucas is gone. The guy lost his damn mind, let's be honest. And now there's going to be no Jar Jar Binks. Hopefully he died some horrible death. And now we're going back to where it started.
So lucky.
And here's the one thing that gets me excited. Just these 2 words, Han Solo.
I got 2 other words for you. J.
Abrams.
Are those words? They're letters. But you get the idea.
I don't get the idea.
I didn't know how you spelled it though.
That's another thing. We've got J.J. Abrams. I trust the man. I trust the man.
I trust the man.
Love Star Trek.
Yes.
Love it. I thought he did exactly what he should do, rebooting it, making it fun. And the whole vibe of Star Wars, it's fun popcorn action. It's not supposed to be this overly serious thing. I mean, you just have fun with it.
The thing that J.J. Abrams understood about the Star Trek was that he needed to make it to appeal to the fans and the nerdier audiences.
The Trekkers or the Trekkies.
And it had stuff for everyone to love.
The prequels were a speed bump that lasted almost, 6 years, and the speed bump looked like Jar Jar Binks, and you just wanted to back over his face and stab him with a lightsaber. But these
Tell us how you really feel.
I want to put him in a well down in my basement.
No, not really. I don't know.
Okay. These new movies, they're doing what they should, and the prequels. A lot of people, the one complaint people say, they're not that bad. And you know what? Even if you took those movies and you put them as their own thing, some random sci-fi
if they weren't Star Wars.
Yeah,
no one would watch them.
Well, but even that, they still wouldn't be good movies.
They are very bad movies. They're just like incredibly
completely
terrible.
forgettable.
Forgettable is the real thing.
The only good thing I got from those movies was Darth Maul. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you know what? Like I remember the craze.
Did he have yellow teeth?
I remember the craze of the '90s. I believe it was around '98, '97. When they showed the first commercial of Darth Maul having like a twin lightsaber, everyone was like, a lightsaber, but it's 2! And then like an aneurysm.
And had a stroke and everybody died. A lot of people got sued.
It was very tragic.
I'm really curious as to what they're gonna do because I mean all 6 movies was about this rebellion and now I mean what are they gonna start another one? That's
well, they got a lot of mythology to work off of, I guess.
We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing some footage. I'm looking forward to seeing, more casting, stuff like that, and confirmations about the story. But I have faith, fingers crossed, for Star Wars Episode 7. Well, you know what?
I just hope that they don't rely on the casting of, bringing back older characters. Like, that's not going to be enough.
I just hope Mark Hamill loses some water weight.
Yeah, water weight.
Another huge movie coming out in 2015 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. This is the sequel to The Avengers, in case you didn't know.
Is it called Avengers 2, or is it just...
I think it's just Avengers: Age of Ultron, but either way...
Yeah, they got rid of the 2.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's got a subtitle. It's not just Avengers 2.
Classier.
For people who might not know, like, what's the deal? How come Thanos is not the villain of this
one? They said that...
he'll be in the third one.
Yeah, everyone kind of guessed that Thanos wasn't going to be in the second Avengers because they announced 3 Avengers. And
yes.
Well, they're not going to use the biggest villain in the second one.
Don't blow your load.
Yeah, they're not going to...
I knew that. I was just asking.
So a lot of fans automatically assumed, the Avengers Avengers, one of their biggest villains is Ultron, which
well, would you look at that?
and we got it
It's
now.
Ultron for sure.
But it created a lot of fan controversy on the web.
Because there's a certain character that won't be in Avengers 2.
Yes, and
who is vital to Ultron.
which is
Dr. Hank Pym.
Or
AKA
Ant-Man.
Well, the theory is Tony Stark is the one responsible instead of Ant-Man now,
Yes.
which makes complete sense because he's the
in the movie
technology guy.
universe, he does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Well,
surprised at all if they do
that's
that.
You don't have so
confirmed.
many super geniuses in a realistic world.
Precisely.
That was pretty much confirmed because the Comic-Con teaser was Iron Man's helmet being crushed into Ultron's helmet. And what the big theory is now, it's like gaining a lot of like, oh wait, that makes a lot of sense. Is that Iron Man builds Ultron, but he puts Jarvis, his artificial intelligence, inside Ultron, and he goes bananas.
I think it's great.
Hello, Ultron.
And, I mean, like, and I would think that that's the only way they could make a real follow-up to Avengers, because, like, Jarvis is something they've been building up
It'd be
since...
very emotional.
They've been building up that since Iron Man 1.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
just in talking about their decision to have Ultron as the villain, there's I mean, great choice in a very small handful of Avengers villains who could take on
Be
the
formidable.
team by themselves.
Well, in the comic books, who kicks Ultron's ass? Is it? I'm sure it's the
Ant-Man,
Hulk.
really. It's
Ant-Man.
like,
Ant-Man.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
the thing is, it's like
Yeah.
Ant-Man...
I think it was
it's
Wonder
like,
Man who beat him.
Well,
was like the first one to beat him. Yeah,
We don't talk about Wonder.
Who?
Sweep that one.
Cheap version of Superman. Come on.
Ultron was supposed to be like Ant-Man's actual brain, like it was his Frankenstein's monster.
Right,
So
yep,
like, that
yep.
was the whole.
That's
character.
basically the storyline.
Yeah. So it's just very strange.
But it's
to pick up.
exciting because that means we don't know what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
that's a lot of thing that comic book fans don't get. It's like this is kind of good because
yeah,
now
you
it's
don't
like,
know where it's going.
Like we all knew, like, oh, Ant-Man makes Ultron goes crazy, then Ant-Man.
But
now
not
it's
anymore.
now it's all out of the wall.
I'm hoping they throw something different at us because the last movie, it ends with the big climax in the city. Everyone's fighting all over the place. Everyone's kind of doing their thing. I hope they kind of have a different way of doing it. Like, they stage it a little bit different this time.
They specifically said that it's a more global movie.
Okay, so maybe another hero's going to be here, another guy's going to be here doing their own thing.
Split up the boys.
They also said that
and girls. There's
that Hawkeye. They said that Hawkeye and Black Widow are supposed to have
a
much
bigger
more,
role. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's
What,
a good
cleaning
thing.
up the blood that the Hulk leaves behind?
It's like when you watch the Avengers, it's like you see the giant battle scene, and then you see Black Widow just shooting.
I mean, come
It's
on.
like,
That's what she can do.
who is she hurting with those guns? It's
Like
like
maybe civilians, to be honest with you. Whoops!
Hell,
it's like the bullets will just like dink right off the alien. It's
Well,
like doop.
the bad guys are distracted by her cleavage, and then they just run into a wall. That's essentially what happens. But, they're like the managers of the Avengers.
Making sure everyone's on time.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, who are some of the new heroes that they're adding to the roster?
Scarlet Witch.
Quicksilver.
Okay.
What's interesting though, tiny little tidbit, Quicksilver you're going to see in X-Men Days of Future
Yeah,
Past.
I heard that.
Different Quicksilver. It's not a crossover.
Double dipping.
Yeah, I don't know who
that's-
is being the bitch here and who screwed over who.
Well, in
but
this movie, they can't mention Magneto as the father.
yeah.
So.
It's going to be weird.
Well, that'll be easy because there's so much substance for Quicksilver as the superhero and Quicksilver as the villain. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. So
That's
they'll have enough to
Yeah.
take from. All right,
It's a
good.
different. It's contrast. He's a villain and he's a hero. There are two predictions that I have for this movie. One is that Hulk will some way be used to turn against the Avengers, and then that's when they're going to give him the boot. Because I feel like that's what needs
makes
to
sense.
happen.
Give him the Hulk boot.
Maybe at the end of
two-
Avengers 2.
And two, at the end of the Avengers 2, we're going to see Vision.
You think?
He comes
Played by?
I don't know. He's a robot.
We don't know yet.
Possibly, what the hell's his name?
Toretto?
Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's up for maybe
Yeah.
Vision or Thanos. Who would you prefer of the two?
Vision.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, because there's less damage he can do.
I don't know, but he's
I
gonna
don't,
do
think
something.
I don't think he's bad. It's just, what's the point? Like, why are you casting such a high-profile actor in...
Did you call him an actor?
But those are just two movies that we're excited about in 2015. There are more, and we talk about them on the part 2, I guess, if you will. Once again, not necessarily putting these in order over on John's channel. Click the link in the info to check it out, and we will see you over there.
See you there.
At the movies.
No, at John's channel.
In my basement.
Maybe on the
technically.
street.
Yeah.